What can I say to end my 8-year relationship with partner? I'll try to keep this short and sweet. Feel free to ask questions. I am ready to leave my partner of 8 years and have no reservations, but I don't want to regret the things I say when we have the talk. Communication and the ability to express myself vocally is a difficult struggle for me. I would like to keep it as short and direct as possible without him feeling like a personal attack. I have an apartment that I can move into right now. All of my past relationships have been toxic. I was always treated poorly and emotionally abused. I was so drawn to my current partner because he is kind, respectful, understanding, loving me unconditionally, nurturing, positive, etc. While I finished school, we decided to move in together for the first time. We have lived with his older sister and his best friend for financial reasons. He wants to get married, but I'm okay with just being a domestic partner. I want to wait until I graduate so we can start out marriage with financial stability. Although he is an amazing person, I've realized that he does not have the qualities I need in a partner, and we are to the point where I am just a caregiver and roommate. This is not a list to attack his character, it's just context. Not financially responsible. No ambition or drive. He only takes me out on a date 2 times a year if I'm lucky. We never spend time together. Wants kids but can't even help take care of our 2 dogs. Never helps with any housekeeping. Like anything. Although he does cook sometimes. Never plans for our future. His mom and sister enables him and help him with bills and don't expect him to help with groceries or housework. We have only had like 6 arguments in 8 years, which I'm sure is unhealthy because he never wants to talk about issues. No intimacy, sleep in separate rooms for our own sleep health. 3 years ago I told him if we planned on getting married I wanted to start saving for our wedding, and he hasn't saved a single cent. I am not one of those people that expects anyone to change who they are as a person, but I do expect a partnership to be a team effort and not one-sided. I have been direct with him about what I expect in a partner on several occasions, where he then plays the hero for about 3 days and then things go back to normal. I agree that relationships take work, but our relationship seems one-sided and hasn't progressed past moving in together. For the past 2 years, the idea of leaving him has been in the back of my mind, and I have expressed that to him, and he always promises he can be that partner, but I have seen no real lasting change. I always stuck around because I was willing to settle for someone who loved me so much. I am not in love with him anymore, but I do have love for him. I have come to the realization that I will never be happy and I will not be able to reach my goals with him by my side. I am planning on telling him tomorrow, but I don't know what to say. It's hard to leave when there is no anger or fighting. Comment. Note: he will likely really pry for reasons for this. Don't fall into that trap, because even if you gave him the above list, it would just result in him making a bunch of promises you know are hollow. Instead, deflect it. If he doesn't know the problems at this point, well, that just reinforces why it didn't work. And if he does, well, he chose not to ever deal with them. You're past that. This isn't a "this is what we need to work on" conversation, it's a "I am done and moving on" conversation. First, don't treat this like a conversation when it's not. It is an announcement. You are not talking with him, you are informing him of a decision that you have already made, and it is not up for discussion. Second, you don't owe any partner an explanation as to why you are ending things. All that matters is that you are no longer happy in this relationship, and you don't want to work on improving things, so it's over. Third, this is how you should tell him, exactly like that, with those words. Hey, insert name here. I need to tell you something. I am breaking up with you. I am serious, and this is not a joke or prank. I am unhappy in this relationship and I don't want to continue working on fixing things. Nothing you say can change my mind, so please do not contact me. I am moving out right now and will be back in a few days to collect the rest of my things, and will not be responding to any calls, texts, or other messages, and I will contact you only to collect my things. Goodbye. Fourth, have an exit plan already. That includes packing a bag with your essentials, including your essential documents. You should also document what is yours, and if possible take photos and videos in case he destroys your things, so you have proof to file claims for compensation. First of all, you are not obligated to explain yourself to him or apologize, but I do understand after so much time spent together you still love this person and feel like you owe him to know the reasons. I would suggest to not make it a long conversation because it will be harder that way, but what's most important to tell him is what you mentioned here, that you realize that you are not compatible, and that's totally okay. Sometimes it takes years, and I'm really happy for you that you not only realized this but also decided to act on it, because sometimes people feel obligated to stay in a relationship if they spent a long time together. I wish you luck and I hope you heal soon, and feel free and careless. You know what's best to say to him. After all, you've spent almost a 3D of your life together. I would just keep it short and sweet. Tell him you realize you don't love him as a boyfriend anymore and you don't want to marry him and you are moving out and you are ending the relationship. If he says why, say you've grown apart, which is the truth. Don't discuss, don't engage. Just tell him this is it, it's not up for discussion, I'm sorry but it's over. And get your stuff and go. It's not easy for me to say this, but I have come to a realization that I need to prioritize my happiness and mental health. I have already secured an apartment. I think it's time for us to each focus on ourselves. If he pushes to know why, you are kind, respectful, and loving. However, we have different needs and goals in life. I need a partner who shares my ambitions, who is financially responsible, and who actively works towards building a future together. Story 2. I ruined my boyfriend mom's family celebration. She berated me so much I cried and now I don't know how to fix the situation. So background. This story isn't set in the United States and English isn't my first language, so please keep that in mind while reading. Me and my boyfriend have known each other since I was 10. I had a somewhat neglectful family, no father around and mom who paid more attention to the next man she brought home, and they were all just overall ignoring me. When I was 10 we moved. I met E at school. We started playing together after school. Had plenty of time, especially since my mom would rarely pick me up from school and I don't think she cared about how I got home or if I did. Anyway, after some time E told his parents, now 51M and 48F, I wasn't being picked up and one day they came up to me and offered me a ride. That's exactly when my life started to get better. Both of his parents showed me what being cared for looked like and I felt loved for the first time there. They basically took over everything from my mom, and she was fine with it as long as I was home by 10 p.m. I need to admit that E's dad was always closer to me and I really bonded with him so much. But his mom was always really nice to me too and treated me with love, though not as much affection. That changed when I was 16. I didn't know what changed, but suddenly E's mom became distant. It wasn't blatant and obvious, but she talked to me less and got irritated with me quicker, especially when I messed something up, and believe me, my ADHD ass do be messing up a lot, lol. E confessed he had feelings for me 7 months ago when we were 17 and 19, shortly before my 18th birthday. Once again, I am currently over 18. He's the best boyfriend I could have ever dreamed of. His dad was, and I believe still is, overjoyed for us. His mom, however, never commented on our relationship. She was rather quiet when I came over and just looked at me weird. I didn't pay too much attention to that at the time. Fast forward to a week ago. My BF's family has this dinner family tradition kind of thing, and they treat it very seriously, like more important than Christmas. They invited me over and invited me to the celebration. I felt honored and immediately offered to cook something for the dinner. E's mother immediately scoffed and said that it should have been obvious that I'm expected to cook something. I felt embarrassed and apologized straight away. Then she told me what exactly I was supposed to make. The day of the celebration I came with everything and additional stuff too, like cookies and cake. When I walked into the kitchen to give everything to E's parents, his mom didn't even greet me. She just took everything aggressively from my hands and waved me off. I was hurt but figured she's stressy out cause extended family was coming, so many people in her house and stuff. When everyone came in we sat down at the table and started eating. E's mom took some of my food on her plate and quite literally spat it back out after trying. She looked at me with such anger that I froze and asked how could I have screwed up so bad with such a simple dish. I was speechless. E, his dad, and one of his aunts tried to defend me but she silenced them and started trying other dishes I cooked. Too many spices, too little spices, all the wrong spices, overcooked, undercooked, everything wrong. I was honestly on the verge of tears. I still am when I think about how her face turned red and she berated me for ruining this day for everyone. She said a lot of hurtful things before her husband stopped her, but I still can hear her saying that she never wanted me there in the first place because I always mess everything up. At this point I was crying. Some of E's aunts got really angry and yelled back at E's mom to leave me alone. E's dad pulled his wife away into another room and he hugged me tight and said we were leaving right then and there. And we did. Honestly, I don't remember much from the way back to E's apartment or that evening. I mostly cried and felt really numb. It's 4 a.m. now and I just woke up to write this cause it's eating me up. Any tips on what to do about my BF's mom? I don't understand why she exploded on me like that. I think the food was really that bad and she was just stressed and blew up on me, but a few people reached out to me to reassure me they ate all of my food and it was absolutely delicious. I don't know, I think they just pity me and say that to be nice. I still don't understand though how somebody who felt like a parent to me could possibly treat me this way. I honestly don't think it was just about the food with an outburst like that from her when she's usually calm and collected, but I don't know what else I did. I was really trying my best but clearly it didn't work. How do I make it right? Any tips on how to fix this? How can I make up to her that I ruined their celebration? Comment. Only one person ruined the evening, and it very clearly wasn't you. One person made an unhinged scene and made everyone else uncomfortable. Everyone else told you that they enjoyed what you made and stood up for you. You don't need to do anything but wait for an apology and forget her. She's the problem, not you. I think your BF's mom is that kind of mom who is in love with her son. I can't guarantee it, but I have read stories about how they get angry or low-key passive-aggressive whenever their son has a GF or wife. I don't have much information about the situation you are in, but it felt this way to me. I could be mistaken too. I'm not one to throw the race card, but I think this might be one of those cases. She was fine with you when you fit the narrative that she was being kind to some disadvantaged foreign girl, but as you got closer to her son, she distanced herself because you aren't good enough for him. It may have nothing to do with race. Maybe no one would be good enough and any girl would get the same treatment. Either way, this isn't on you to fix. Listen again. This isn't on you to fix. Your BF needs to deal with this with his mother. She does owe you an apology. You need to have a long talk with BF and explain your feelings. It already seems like he gets it and is very defensive about your feelings, so that you both can decide how to handle this together. You have done nothing wrong here. Jesus, this is not on you. She is pretty much certainly mentally ill, although I don't have enough information to guess what exactly it is. You cooked a bunch of stuff, and I don't care how awful it is. You're a teenager, you're not supposed to be an expert chef. You could have cooked the most awful concoction known to man, and unless it stunk up the place, she should have done absolutely nothing other than decide not to eat it. You did absolutely nothing wrong, and the fact that everyone else there defended you is proof of that. What I think you need to look at is why your response to this is to feel guilty and to try to fix things, because most people in your shoes would simply think, damn, this lady is nuts. Usually, people who exhibit a response like yours are people who have been exposed to emotional abuse growing up, and they have adapted to this by developing an instinct to appease whoever they see as a threat. But that's definitely a generalization, and I have no way of knowing if this is the case for you. I would agree that she is probably acting like that because she doesn't want you to replace her in her son's life. You will never be good enough, no one will, for her standards. Your BF and his dad need to have a talk with her about boundaries and behavior.